No, probably not.
Being nice to strangers.
Pretending to be happier than I am.
Yeah.
I think by definition, I'm not that happy.
What would make you happy then?
Not having to pretend to be happy for the enjoyment of strangers. I think.
I'd go to that restaurant just to have someone just stroppy.
Just to have someone a bit grumpy.
Yeah, and it's just like,
Yeah.
hi, I'd like to get like the veal parmigiana,
1, 2.
and you're all like, fuck, I hate my life. Everything's shit. Don't you feel like a cog in the wheel and we're all gonna die? What's the point of anything?
Yeah.
And
To be
I'll
honest
go
with you, I don't...
salad, not chips, please.
2, 1,
Yeah,
2.
for sure. Yeah.
That's about right.
One,
Am I
the
about level?
fool. 2,
Yeah.
be here.
We
Hello?
got that. Okay.
Alrighty. Cool.
Dun 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 dun. HIV.
So, what do we want to talk about?
Where's our introduction? Where's welcome to the show? Hey, it's great to be here,
No,
everybody. We're
I've-
sponsored by bullshit.
I've got this idea that
Yeah.
we do a podcast that doesn't have, hi everyone, welcome to,
A cold beginning.
yeah, you know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like,
Cold
let's
open.
a start from a start. I've got this idea that I'm just going to release this. You know how I faded out the last one? The next one
Yeah.
just fades up. You're just in mid-conversation.
Blah, blah,
and people
blah.
just have to pick it up. There's no,
Yeah, for sure.
you do the framing as you go.
Okay.
For,
Cool, man.
so we can just, like you guys were just talking about something. So I just press record.
Yeah.
And away we, and we're already 1 minute and 51 seconds in.
fucking killing it.
For sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So, but we've talked about we've talked about heaps of stuff this week, haven't we? You're looking at your notes. Don't bother. If it's any good, it'll come to you spontaneously.
For sure. If it's interesting enough to talk about, then you'll want to talk about it.
I'm just going to pop
Surely.
your...
Don't steal
I'm,
my-
wait.
Come on.
I'm not going to attack your notes. All I'm going to do is move this around. Okay, that's the
Thought
way.
you were after my notes, man.
No. And
No.
that
Think for
way,
myself.
there you go.
For
How's that?
sure.
No
Oh,
leads.
man, I'm just feeling good. Feeling excited.
No leads. Yeah.
Leadless.
So,
Lots of exciting stuff happened this week
Yeah.
in the news.
Hang on. Actually, I haven't formed an opinion on this.
I used to
yet,
start a
but-
show. Sorry.
Fuck your opinion.
Yeah.
No, I'll
Fuck.
just chuck this anecdote in, and in terms of we're doing a
You
podcast.
talk too much, Eurydice.
I
Always
do.
Blah, blah, blah.
Yap, yap, yap. Just like a rape victim. Sorry.
You don't want to date him.
Rape victim. 'cause
Blah,
'cause
blah.
they're always talking about it.
My trauma, this. And
Yeah.
My trauma that. Sorry, go on.
That'll go in.
bit of an in-joke.
I used
Yeah.
to start shows. I used to start shows by saying to audiences, "This is the only podcast in the history of the world that isn't recorded anywhere and won't be released at all." And I'd open the show and go, "Welcome to my podcast. It's going really well." Then I'd count the audience members: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Oh, 25 listeners already. How good's this podcast? But it's the only podcast in the history of the world that isn't recorded and will never be uploaded to the internet. But it's a podcast.
It's crazy, man. What are we doing?
All right. Who are the listeners? Your like imaginary friends?
No, when I was doing a gig,
I
I'd
see.
open my shows.
Okay, you
This would be an opener.
That
I did
wasn't
this an
clear.
opener
Yeah.
for my shows, just for fun. Just
Yeah.
to set the scene, take the piss out of the whole podcast thing. Anyway, that got lost in the translation because I didn't obviously explain it very well at the top. What were you talking about before?
I think it was like 2 weeks ago on Late Line, they had like a fluff piece on a dating site called Miss Travel, and it was fairly transparently just like prostitution. Basically, it was like young women, they go on the site, and then like rich, like generally older men, they like go on the site and look for travel companions, and it's like just a dating site, but the story was following these two women, and they like the younger one, who was like 25, was just like, well, yeah, it's a dating, because they asked whether or not sex was expected of them. And the younger one was like, well, they're paying for everything, so I guess so.
Yeah.
And I found her a lot more likable because she was much more honest. But then there was like another one who was like 40, and she was talking about how it was really empowering doing this because she didn't have to. And I was like, I just didn't know. I was like, it's a dating website where you're basically prostituting yourself for the company of like these richer men to go around the country.
But didn't it, first and foremost, I can't believe that I've just met the only 20-year-old that watches Lateline.
Yeah, well.
You must be that person they talk about.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, in hushed tones.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure whenever I catch up with Emma Alberici, she always will say, you know that there's a 20-year-old that watches Lateline. And up to now...
Emma, is she the short-haired one?
Yeah.
She's the only host I like.
Really? You don't like Tony Jones?
I find, yeah, he's all right. But on
I don't like
Quanda,
Tony Jones.
he annoys me a little bit. And then that, like, annoyance flows over to Lateline.
I first got introduced to Tony Jones on Lateline.
Yeah.
And so I actually enjoyed, I think he's a relatively, he can be, well, not in these days of the ABC cuts, but he has been quite combative in the past in some of his interviews of politicians and whatnot. He seems to have a good breadth of knowledge of most issues. But I understand that once he becomes the Q&A guy, it does skew the way you see Tony Jones.
I agree.
Yeah, because sometimes on Q&A you're like, oh, dude, I hate the way on Q&A when it's just about to kick off, he'll go, everyone needs to calm down. No, that's the time everyone should fire up. You know, I always think.
Yeah.
I'd love to see someone just chuck a chair like right
Jerry
across
Springer, like bring that shit back.
Why don't you have a mix of Q&A and Jerry Springer?
Yeah.
That's where it... Because...
you know what it is? It's like he should... Every episode should have at least one person who's cheating on their partner with someone else. But you don't bring on that person they're cheating with until like right at the end. And then they fist fight. And then the chairs come out. And then, bickety bam. That's where you get him saying, be good to each other.
I want them to come to blows over like I would have loved to seen Van Batten and for instance and Steve Price that just get stuck in, you know?
That'd be good. I reckon she could have shivved him. Like, just bang, straight. Like in Chopper. Have you seen Chopper? Just boom. Oh, you're right, Steve Price? Mate, you all right? Steve?
Kicked him.
That's what it needed. Good shiv in the
What's
throat.
wrong, Stevie? What's
right,
wrong?
mate?
What's wrong, Stevie?
That would have been good.
You look like you've done yourself a... What does he say? You've done yourself a mischief.
Yeah.
You've done yourself a mischief.
Who says that?
Let's take a moment.
It's in the movie Chopper.
Oh, I haven't seen it.
Oh, it's a good movie.
Okay.
It is a great movie. Banner's fantastic. I think that it did play into because then of course you had Heath Franklin doing his Chopper.
Yes.
And I remember flying queues back in 2008 at the Adelaide Fringe, and people in Adelaide didn't know whether they were going to see the real Chopper or Heath Franklin's version. The movie had a lot to do with this weird thing we do as part of our culture, and I suppose in other cultures too. The Cray brothers are pretty much lionised to some degree in the UK.
Tom Hardy's in the new movie.
Have you seen it?
I want to. It came out like this year or last year, and he plays both characters.
It came out
fascinating.
I raced straight down to the DVD shop and watched it, and I actually don't know whether... Look, as much as I love Tom Hardy, probably too much on a bunch of levels. I've got a massive man crush on him. So take that into account. I'm a bit biased. I did enjoy it, but even still, I probably would go back to the one that the Kemp brothers did in the 80s.
Ah, yes.
That was really great. I mean, the Francis in that one was a lot more tragic, I thought. They tried to really sort of modern her up in this one of the Crays. Okay, that was a tangent. Back to what you were talking about, Eurydice.
Yeah.
Yep.
I don't know. Well, no, that's just it. I just found it really strange that they were sort of talking about it openly, but sort of not at the same time. Like I said, I haven't formed an opinion on the website as such as yet, but I just found it... Well, I guess I found it weird that it was news, first of all.
Yep. I'm
But
trying to
just the
remember what I
way-
thought. I wasn't overly... I just watched it and went, oh, yeah, that's like... high class escorts.
Yeah, but they were
in the internet age.
But they were acting like it wasn't that it was a dating site and that they
with a
with
an
and
egg
the
on
woman
top.
was going on about like how what was so good about the website was that it wasn't because they said so. Do the men expect you to have sex with them? And she goes, oh, yeah, sometimes. But what's really great and empowering, she said empowering like 5 times in one sentence, is that it's your choice as the woman. And I was like, well, for sure, but that's so, like, it's escorting, but it's not. They should just be...
Being able to say yes or no is obviously empowering.
Yeah.
There is the fine line, though. Like in Japan, there's this weird grey area where it's kind of the hostess world, where guys will go to hostess bars and pay money to talk to women and have drinks with women.
Yeah.
And so nothing more is implied. However, if you take the girl out on a date, if you buy her presents, she sort of becomes this pseudo-girlfriend that you hang out with. And the girls actively go out of their way to find kind of like the guys to date outside of the hostess world.
Yeah.
So it's a very big grey area between like paid for girlfriends and sort of like, oh, I've got a girlfriend, she just happens to work at a hostess bar.
For sure.
But yeah, escorts and dates and a lot of those sorts of things happen with less...
You're just getting a bit caught up the back here, and it's... I don't know what's happened there.
I think it's my hair clip.
Oh, yes, it is. That's exactly right. Yeah, and then okay, beautiful.
And I think in some countries, the lines between what's acceptable dating practice and what's prostitution kind of blurred, especially in patriarchal societies like Japan.
Yeah, I don't know. I find, to some degree, that's a hoary subject, isn't it? Because we've long had that, marriage is prostitution. I mean, that comes from a body of feminist thought, that marriage is prostitution. What I was going to say about you saying it's empowering to say yes or no, but I guess it's also empowering to be able to jump on the internet and just go to a website and there's just minted dudes who'll just like
take you on a
spend
holiday.
Heaps of money on you. That's right, because they got to go on holidays,
Yeah,
didn't
They
they?
go to
That
awesome
the whole
holidays.
website was.
Yeah.
They go to awesome holidays.
Yeah,
They
okay,
go
it's all coming back to me.
overseas, and
Yeah.
so they go. So you type in "I want to go to America" or whatever, and then there's dudes.
But they choose the dude that they go with. They don't have to go like, I'll pick
Oh
anyone.
yeah, for sure. No,
Like, they
because
get to
it's not.
choose.
It's not because
It's a
it's
dating
not.
site.
Yeah, it's a dating site,
For girls who like guys with lots of money
and
Yeah.
want to go overseas
and
Yeah.
travel.
and have everything paid for them.
Is there a version where like guys like me can find sugar mamas who want to take me overseas and have their way with me?
Maybe. Oh, actually, I think it's called Miss Travel. But if I remember from the story, there was like you could go on there as a dude, and you could say you're looking for a woman,
Yeah.
but the assumption, like the unmarked form of the rich person, was male.
I'm meant to be the guy with the money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry. Yeah.
So you haven't got enough?
I went to America a couple of years ago. I had enough money then. That was
Yeah.
very fun.
But did you have enough money to pay for you
And
and
a
like
girl
and somebody else?
No. Well, I could have,
No.
but then my holiday would have been half as long. But
Yeah.
no, yeah.
For sure. Yeah.
But one day I'll become rich, and then I can spend money on ladies, and then they can love me for my money instead of my abrasive personality, which is never going to work.
Well, one of the reason why we are all doing this is because we hail from the Melbourne comedy scene.
I'm just a tourist, to be honest.
I hate. Well, to some, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
No, you've dabbled.
I've dabbled.
I've seen you do comedy on stage, so you're in, mate.
Yeah. One of
No.
us.
Yeah, but I only know like about 10% of the rooms, 10% of the people in the scene. Like I
Your
don't know.
microphone technique is appalling. It's like
I'm getting back into it.
yeah. It's. I give you. You're monitoring yourself. Can you hear how you're loud, then you're soft? And
I want my microphone to turn up.
what's that?
I want a louder microphone. Like if I could turn... Sorry, my headphones.
Yeah,
I want them to be
headphones.
turned up.
Right.
I need more... when they go like we need more feedback?
Fold
Back.
back.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is it really that bad?
I can't hear it. It goes in and out, but I can hear you. Like if you talk...
Yeah. You can hear me now? Can you hear me now?
No, I've lost everything. That's why.
Are your headphones shit?
Your face is shit.
I mean, I love how you've turned up with the headphones you'd use in a fucking call centre. I mean, I've got headphones. No, they're the ones from a call centre. Give it to me. I'll see if you can hear it. Go.
Okay, now we're here and we're talking.
It's Have you? Fantastic. No, that's bad. No wonder you're awful.
Yeah.
Because you're doing all the same stuff as last time. We're not making any advances here at all.
No, I can't hear anything now. Can you hear it?
Yeah,
Me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Now I can,
Okay.
but it's really quiet. I'd like it to be louder in my headphones.
Yeah, but I can't do that.
I know.
Understand
I
this.
know.
Fucking
do.
There's two sands. I've got the things. I'm not running the desk at a very high level.
It's okay.
I swear to God, if I put these guys on, I bet you my headphones work. Talk.
Okay, so now we're talking. and
Hello?
Everything's good.
Yeah, put those on, you idiot. They're headphones that work.
Hey, that's me. That's much better. There you go.
No doubt. But you bought those other ones, didn't you? So
I'll bring different headphones next time.
yeah. So that's your problem. Actually,
Maybe it's this thing here. Hang on, wait a second. Wait a second. Bring it back.
You're an idiot. You are flat.
Hello. Oh, fuck. That's what I was looking for. No, that's way better. Okay. We're cooking with gas now. That's all I needed was just to turn it up, and now I'm feeling so good. I'm feeling right. I'm feeling good. I'm feeling right. Let's start again. Welcome to the show. There's nothing funny about Melbourne comedy.
Did you once say that you worked in radio? Because
Yes, for
I know
years.
that I realise, and look, I'll be honest with you, man. You have got the crappiest mic.
That's right. I'm back on track now. I feel
and
good.
so there is a possibility I could pull that mic out and then junk that one. But that then all of a sudden, like that's like almost too high quality, and I'm trying to get like but maybe
Same quality.
the trick is to, well, fuck it. Why don't we try that?
I'm feeling good now, though. Like all I needed to do was turn my headphones up, and now I'm a happy champ.
You've also got the shitty lead as well. So try that.
Dun dun.
Is that better?
Hello? Maybe. Hang on, wait a second. Doot doot. Oh well, I can hear that. Yeah, that's
Is
fine.
it better than this?
Don't know. It's okay. I'm ready to go. Welcome to the show. There's nothing funny about podcasting.
Watch what happens when I get this one out, because then I have to turn on the phantom power on there.
The Phantom Power.
Because this is my studio mic that I used to do.
It's looking good. Kieran's got the studio mic out. It's got its own little tripod. He's doing some twisties, getting the long boomy part extended. Now he's going to do the old plug-a-rooney into the Phantom
You're able to just turn
microphone.
around and see, and there's a little button on the desk that says 48V next to it.
I'm looking for the 48V. What number?
Oh, no, don't. On the right-hand side, there's a little button that says 48V on it.
On Phantom?
Phantom, yes.
How's that?
Okay.
I'm rocking the
give me a
suburbs.
Check.
Check. 1, 2, 3.
Check.
Ah,
1,
that's
2.
Sounding good.
How does that sound?
That's quite loud in my
Yeah,
ear
we
now.
can hear you.
Yeah.
What number are you?
What's that?
What number are you?
I'm number 1.
I'll just turn you down a smidge.
Okay, turn me down a wee bit.
Is it this one here we use, the master, or we use one of these?
No, the big one with the white. Not that one.
Oh,
That's the
this one?
gain. 2, 1, 2, 2, 2, 1, 2.
2. And what number am I?
You're number 3.
3.
Yeah, you might need a little bit more.
3. Ah, that feels good. I'm liking
Okay.
that.
How's
liking
that?
a
How's
lot.
that? Check yours.
I can. Hello,
I'm hearing you
everybody.
Yeah. Give Eurydice a smidge more, please.
too. Okay,
On
Eurydice,
2,
just giving
yep.
you a little bit
Okay,
more. How's that
great.
sounding?
All right.
Yes.
I
Hello.
like that. I like it a lot.
Okay. Now we've found a
then.
whole new level of that's.
Professionalism.
I'm sure we'll
now.
be able to get something out of what we just did.
Yeah,
But we'll have a beat.
but I can actually hear myself now. This is way better.
A little bit of a beat, and I'll just double check that we're still recording. Yeah, we're still recording. I've done 20 minutes.
20 minutes. Pure gold.
So we all got together through the Melbourne comedy thing,
Yeah.
Yes.
and this just like over the last 24 hours, a member of the Melbourne comedy community has spoken about an incident where she had a male friend in the comedy scene and said, hey, why don't you come back to my place, smoke some weed? Everyone got really high. Your friend, male friend, isn't going home. He's going to crash on the couch. And he starts with the why don't we sleep together thing. And she's written it up online, saying he wouldn't take no for an answer.
Has he since apologised in the light of the new day?
He apparently apologised before it was mentioned on the internet, which...
Like that night he apologised, or...?
I don't know. I don't know the details.
But now he's being publicly shamed.
Not really, because his name hasn't been mentioned.
He's anonymous.
Yeah.
But people will kind of start talking, who is it?
Will they?
Won't they? Isn't
I
that
don't
how
know.
drama and gossip works?
Suppose so.
How many times did he ask her?
I'm not sure.
Okay. I want to know the limit, because you don't want to give up at one just in case they're not 100% sure. So maybe 2 times is the limit? How many times you can ask someone if they want to make out or something? What's the limit? How far are you allowed to go before it's too far?
I reckon...
Before you're John Cusack standing outside their
think-
bedroom window at 3 a.m. in the morning holding a ghetto blaster,
Yeah.
playing Phil Collins, or... Who was it? No, it was Genesis. The guy from Genesis. Say you. Yeah, how far are you allowed to go? Because I watched all those 80s rom-coms, and there's a lot of stalkerish, kind of over-possessive action going on with guys that are trying to score ladies in those movies. I think I've been taught wrong. So what do you reckon? What do you reckon? You ask once, hey, you and me,
I think
how about it?
I think when it's a casual thing, if you're sort of basically just saying, hey, why don't we, and someone says, nah, sorry, man, not into you in that way.
That's it. Stop there.
You're done.
No
you're done.
second, come on.
You can't
that's too much.
You can't make someone into you that way, right? You can, and you can possibly, not sure what that was.
Is still going.
No,
Someone?
it stopped.
No, that's it. Stop now.
All right, cool.
Obviously, we were talking about courting.
Well, that's the thing. It doesn't always have to be just a one-night stand. Maybe you like the
No,
person, you have liked them for a long time.
But we're talking in this specific thing. We're talking about
no relationship,
late night, no relationship. You're friends with this girl.
Yeah.
You both end up in a house together late at night. You say, oh, how about you and I, a bit of this? I reckon, no thanks, not keen on that. Okay, fine. Well, maybe the next day, maybe get the poetry out, give it a bit of a mixtape, go back to the traditional ways of the woo, right?
Flowers?
I'm not saying just that no means never. I'm not saying that...
No doesn't mean...
No, I'm not saying that no means just don't...
Never try again.
Yeah, I'm not saying that. I'm saying that at that time, you just back off, man.
That's it. One ask.
The other thing, and what
I
said online about the whole business was, you've been offered a fucking place to sleep on a couch, show some gratitude and just pull your head in.
You're allowed to like someone, though.
Yeah, I'm not saying
You're
can't
allowed to
like someone.
express
I'm
your
saying
like.
that at 1 o'clock in the morning, when you're meant to just crash on the couch because someone's been good enough to say to you in no condition to drive home or whatever it is you're doing, you don't go, oh, well, seeing as I've got to sleep here, I better be having some action.
You can't expect anything, but you can, say, hey, here's an... but that's what I agree. There's only so many times you should ask before it's all right, that's it.
No.
I think you ask once.
No, you ask
At
once.
most.
That's it. One
At
time,
most.
you get your fucking answer in that given situation.
Then you get a no.
You back off and you say, fair play, it was just a crazy idea.
You
you can get out of that with a little bit of mirth making and,
But getting
who
to-
hasn't been knocked back for that sort of thing? You can just sort of go, oh, yeah, it was just like I've always thought you and I'd be like that. Yeah, okay, sorry, I misread the thing. I'll just crash on the couch.
Yep.
Or maybe I'll have a couple of cones,
Yeah.
Definitely if you've been, have a couple of cones, take the edge off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's all right. Everyone should agree with our rules from now on. And if
Yeah, for
anyone breaks
sure.
them, then we can just abuse them, saying, "Didn't you listen to
So
our
that's
podcast?"
okay. So that's your. I'm interested. I was interested to hear what you thought.
I thought like you're allowed to like someone and you're allowed to express that like for them, and if that's unrequited,
this
then it
isn't-
will get
No,
will
but
get
can
awkward.
we demarcate, please, between expressing like for someone and just saying at 1 o'clock in the morning, "You're here, I'm here. Why don't we just like have sex and stuff?"
Have a Rudy Tooty.
Come on, that's not "I like you." That's the laziest, way of getting your rocks off known to man, is it not? Like,
Well, I agree, but I wasn't there. I don't know what this guy was doing, but it sounded like he was crossing
he was
the
told no,
line.
and he kept going. Is what he was doing.
Yeah.
He wouldn't take no for an answer. Like, we're old people, aren't we? And you're young people, Eurydice. What are
I am
your
all
what
young
are your
people.
thoughts?
If you took a boy home for cones and then he started like doing
Yeah.
that, and you was she single, this girl, or did she have a boyfriend?
I don't know.
Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter.
don't-
And some guys like, hey, lady, you and me, babe, how about it?
Yeah.
And you're like, no, and
Yeah.
then he like keeps going. What would
Yeah.
your reaction be? Would you be like, you have to leave my house now, or is it like,
Um,
you're crazy, good night, or is it like,
It's not multiple
If he
choice,
then-
man.
you can have many? No.
Eurydice, you can answer the question. You don't have to keep going. Here's an option. Here's another option. Here's another. You're not
I
a
felt
fucking
aw-
not a game show, man.
I felt awkward because there was silence.
Yeah, no doubt.
That's called thought.
Good radio thinking.
Yeah, for sure. I don't know. Probably tell him to fuck off, and if he kept going, do my best to kick him out.
There you go.
If there was one like advancement and I said no, and then it was ignored, then I wouldn't be angry about it. I don't think.
But isn't the
Depending on the situation, I mean,
yeah, but isn't the awkward? Isn't the awkwardness of those situations is that you've been friends, and this happens the other way. Like, I've had women who are into me, like, go,
Wow.
don't be like that.
No, I'm in the background.
Don't be like that.
I'm not interrupting. Keep going with your
No, what's
story.
wow wow? What the fuck does that mean?
I want to hear the story.
No doubt you do, but what was wow wow?
It's like
What's wow?
Bao Chicka Wow Wow.
It can happen.
Yeah, no, I don't doubt it.
Yeah,
You're a married man.
No, it's before. No, although I will tell you that like being married is one of the greatest ways to get. Anyway,
Good times.
I'm sorry, that's just a fact. Like, women are, there's a reason for that too, because they go, oh, look, a man who's married, someone else has already done all the background checks. Someone else has already made sure that this person isn't like completely mental. Obviously a half decent person to shack up with for a period of time. Maybe even the child rearing stuff's been, all the work's been done.
Yep.
Yeah.
The hard
so
yards.
yeah. So
Okay, so this girl's after you and she's not taking
but
no
this
for
is
an
years.
answer.
No, this is years ago. So I'm not. It's
cheating
It's
at
not
this point.
now. It's like years ago. And there was one particular girl, and I remember she sat and watched me drink a whole bottle of whiskey, right, and just waited until I was so wasted, and then sort of did
Pounced.
how about we do a bit of this, and I was just like, oh, hang on, man. I thought that you were just a friend of mine. I thought we were just friends. And it's awkward. Yeah. That's the point I'm making is you can't sort of say, get the fuck out of my house. You've crossed the line. Or I didn't know you felt like that. It's weirded me out. Like, you're a bit weirded out. They should be a bit weirded out. It's not I suppose it's not as easy just to go get the fuck out of my house because
it would be, but that's not what I'm saying. If they kept going, I'd tell them to
yeah,
fuck
okay.
off.
Yeah.
I'm saying like an awkward whatever. I'd
Yeah.
go, oh, that's a bit weird. Let's just pretend it didn't happen. Go sleep there.
Yeah.
Then that's awkward, but I'm awkward, so I can deal with it.
Yeah, but and you're dead right. You just end up crossing a line, I reckon, and then of course, you've possibly soured the friendship. The friendship a lot of friendships can't really recover, I reckon, from that. There's some rejection involved. There's some ill-mannered behaviour.
Complaints on Facebook. That's a new thing.
Yeah, that's new that happens, that people talk about like that.
I do think though, as I was growing up, I didn't really fully know that point between not trying hard enough and then trying too hard.
Mhm.
And it's hard to find, like, it's like, oh, did I try hard enough in that thing? Did I express myself enough? Did I? And then, yeah, so it's kind of weird to know where the line is, kind of thing. Because I often think it's like, well, if you don't put enough effort in, then that maybe you should have. You know?
But that's all. Doesn't that all come into the? That's reflective of the culture of the male as the pursuer.
Yeah.
You know.
But that's been the way for so many centuries, that the girl like kind of presents herself to society, and then the guy will go up and ask her, and it's very rare that the girl will be overt in the way that she attracts the male, although there is lots of different ways that she could do that on a lesser overt way.
Because you pursued
Both my boyfriends, yeah.
not at the same time.
No, different people, yeah.
It's like I was going to, but there wasn't
Different
It
nights.
wasn't enough hours in the day.
But that's because...
Have you been pursued?
Yeah, guys have asked me out. But to be honest, I didn't really attract any male attention until I already had a boyfriend. So...
Well, that's the same thing I was just talking
Yeah.
about.
You've been cleaned up. You're presentable to society.
Someone else has done all the hard work.
Yeah, picked all the fleas out of your hair and stuff, gobbled them up, and you're good for presentation.
Yeah. So I didn't... Yeah, so I
don't know where that
had
came
very
from.
little
Like it's a monkey thing.
time
Like
to
monkeys.
like...
A monkey thing?
Choose.
We're monkeys.
What
man.
is he talking? We have to address what he's talking about. What are you talking about? There's I thought you were just doing a euphemism of like, you know, I needed to get a monkey thing.
Yeah, like people are like monkeys, right? We
Oh,
are. We're humans.
Oh, you mean evolution?
Right. But then there's like that extra kind of level you do when you're kind of in a relationship and you're all cleaned up and you're kind of nice and you're kind of churching up your language and stuff.
Okay.
Don't worry, cut that bit out.
I don't think monkeys do that sort of stuff.
But they eat bugs out of each other's hair,
That's
right?
not the same.
So I'm just saying, it's like it's a metaphor for a de-evolved person who's got. It's a metaphor, a simile, an allegory.
Okay, then. I don't know whether it's overly accurate though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not all my stuff has to go anywhere.
No, you know, I'm understanding that. Anyway, thanks for interrupting. Sorry, I felt that we had to work out what the fuck you were talking about
you
there.
should not have gone there.
Yeah, all right.
Okay, so
Where were we?
you being pursued.
You look nicer because you're in a relationship and you're confident as well.
Yeah.
You don't have that kind of, I'm desperate, I want to like pick up, because you've already got that person.
For sure.
So there's a different attitude that you bring to every social situation when you are in a relationship.
For sure. And also...
Like a monkey.
Yeah.
No, like a post monkey. You're the monkey when you don't have the partner. And then when you do have the partner, you kind of get all kind of... Yes.
Can I just ask, if I do say something funny and you're laughing, can you laugh into the microphone?
Okay.
Because then, you do that, it sounds like you're half miles away anyway. And it's very,
Yes.
It's very important to have, when you're doing any form of broadcasting, it's important to have the thing. And then
That's
Yeah.
breakfast
if I
radio.
get a genuine laugh, that's breakfast radio.
Yeah.
If I get
Fake
a
your
genuine
laughs.
laugh out of you, please, God, like, just give it some...
Kieran
blah,
needs
blah,
the
blah.
validation, man.
For sure,
Yeah.
yeah.
He needs to
Sure.
hear it. Every like matters.
For sure. There's not a lot of people who like me.
I was jealous of Waleed Alid. How do you say his name? Waleed Alid?
Waleed
Yeah.
Ali.
I was jealous of him this
Okay,
week. Because
why?
I heard his podcast for the first time.
Yeah.
And you know how they're kind of dumb on the project, and it's kind of like 60 minutes back in, you know, like the 90s or something, just really crap. And then, like, you know, they tried to kind of fill the time, but they weren't very, you know, wise or, you know, astute. And then Wiley comes along and he's like a little bit clever, but I actually heard his podcast. He was talking about utilitarian consequentialism. And it's like, wow, if only you brought some of that to like commercial television. People would just lose their shit.
That's what people love
Just a
hearing
half-hour
about.
conversation about utilitarian consequentialism
On Channel 10.
on Channel 10 for the
which
whole
is-
half hour. Just
like,
him
that's
and Peter
the
Hellier.
Murdoch channel as well.
So were
isn't it?
you pissed off with him because...
He's so talented. He's so
Yeah.
smart. Like his job is to be a lawyer, right? He's got one job, and that's to be a lawyer. And then he's also
No,
like
he's got millions of
And then he's
jobs.
got no, but that's the thing. That's the one thing he trained for. But he's also good on TV,
I don't
and he
think
can
he's
also
ever practiced.
and he can
He
also
went straight into academia.
play the goddamn solo from
I know.
Comfortably Numb, and it's like fuck, man. Like, and now I hear him speaking on his podcast. He's also incredibly clever about other things. And it's like, I just want to marry him and make him a sandwich. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, he already has
What-
a
what
wife.
sort
I
of
know.
sandwich?
I'm jealous.
Better not have any of that.
He might.
Ham
Any
or-
bacon in it.
Is he one of
Dude,
those though, or does he
I'm
drink
just
alcohol?
all I'm doing is I
eat
just
bacon?
want
I'm
to.
pretty sure he's a Muslim.
Yeah, so-
I'm pretty sure that's fairly crucial to his public image.
No, did you know Pauline Hanson today got interviewed about it, and because there was one of her senators called him a terrorist on TV last night.
Did he?
And they're all like,
No doubt.
Pauline Hanson, one of your guys called Wally a terrorist. It's like, what's the deal with that? And she's like, I didn't even know he was a Muslim.
Well, I reckon-
he's done so
do you
well for
mean
himself.
Yep.
I didn't know.
Malcolm Roberts.
Yeah, Malcolm Roberts.
Is that the big thing? He went on
He
to
said,
protest.
yeah.
So let me get this straight.
Why isn't Wally saying?
Walid Ali
Yeah.
is a lecturer at Monash University in
Yes.
counter-terrorism and other related things,
Yes.
has a law degree,
Yes.
is a broadcaster,
Yes.
has his own podcast,
Yes.
is a TV personality,
Yes.
has won a Gold Logie,
Yes.
has a podcast,
Yes.
writes relatively insightful stuff for Fairfax
Yes.
Media, is in a power couple with his wife anyway as well. Favourite of Malcolm Turnbull. On top of all that, like a Renaissance man like that, well, of course he's going to dabble in some terrorism, is my point.
He is.
Yeah, why not?
He's working from the inside. He's going to bring
I
society.
set that up for way too long, I think.
Yeah. No, that's all right. No.
Did you see it coming? Or
I knew something was coming.
yeah.
yeah.
It was all right though. It was good, but I think you do it in threes. You go. He
Your
did
man
this,
Malcolm
he
Roberts
did
should have
this,
said,
did
he
this.
lectures
Boom.
in counter-terrorism. That's the people who know how many there are.
Yep.
Thanks. Okay, cool. How did so we were talking about you being pursued, and then he just like blasted into his Walid Ali thing.
No.
Yeah,
Sorry, I changed the topic.
You
Let's
sure
get back
Yeah,
to
for
it.
sure, yeah.
yeah.
Fuck offshore detention. What
Yeah.
were we saying? Oh yeah, you getting picked up by gentlemen.
Mm. Well,
Being pursued.
yeah.
Yeah. But what would you
Caught
prefer? Being pursued, or what's the
Well,
opposite of
but-
that? Not being pursued.
Pursuing.
I think for the context of a relationship,
Yep.
probably pursuing.
Yeah.
But for, like, if it was for, like, a casual thing, then probably being pursued.
I always thought that if somebody took a shine to me just on the basis of aesthetics, right? I always thought that their judgment was probably a bit off.
You don't want to be a part of any
Yeah.
club.
You know what
that
I'm
would have
saying?
you
Like as soon as you
member.
go, oh, you want a piece of this? What's wrong with you? Like, like that is like proper PhD level self-loathing. that
Yeah,
one.
I'm the opposite. It's like you have such good taste.
Oh, do you?
Finally, someone
Is
with a
that
little
some-
bit of aesthetic appreciation.
Yeah, come home and come home and see my etchings and listen to my Robot Child CD, and I'll romance you.
Robot child.
Laugh into the microphone, dude. Come on.
I feel like I'm blowing it out though.
Yeah.
Oh. Yes. Robot Child. I checked them out there. You
Just
know.
that
would have been great
There's me Titanic impersonation, just in case.
What's Robot Child?
That's the name of Wali Alid's band.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
They're all right, but they
They're
would have
like-
been great like in the end of the 90s when that post-grunge Nickelback was kind of coming
Are
through.
they kind of proggy?
No.
I think they're a cover
More
band
like-
by and
no,
large.
they're
I know
not. I
they
think
do
they do
some
originals,
originals,
yeah.
but they're really known for their covers.
Yeah. It's
Ah.
like that other band, The Basics, that Gotcha was in. Or
Okay.
Gotcha. Like, he's really talented, but the rest of the Basics are just like, you know, pub rockers.
Oh, they played at my high school once.
Did they?
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
Basics. But I always thought, like, he's the talented one. And he's
My
just
missus
kind of-
was right into
Gotcha.
the basics. She went down to Apollo Bay many years ago and came back raving about the basics, and then the Gautier thing took off. That's how you say it, Gautier.
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 I think his real name's Wally.
Yeah,
That's
it is.
what I remember from when they played at our school.
It
was
is.
They introduced all the people individually, and his name was Wally, but I recognised him
Yeah,
as...
Wally DeBacker. Yeah, his
Gautier.
name is
Yeah.
Wally DeBacker is his real name, but he comes. I know where he got this Gautier thing from.
But if you're from the pop charts world,
I just
then
cannot resist doing this.
No, he's because from the pop. If you
Did
only
you hear
follow
about
pop
the-
chart, if you only follow the pop charts, now he's just somebody that we used to know.
He is.
Thank you. Your shot, Kieran.
Did you hear that joke about that guy? That the Greek guy who was standing there and going, "Son, over there is the ship that I built."
You fuck
I-
one pig.
I
that
built-
one.
I built
you fuck
this-
one goat.
Yeah. But what would have made it funny is when I got to it and I said, "I built the ship, I built the building, I built the town. You fuck one Gautier."
Yeah. Boom! Boom.
Nailed it.
You don't get that on the project.
You don't.
You don't.
No, you don't.
Steve Price you get. We don't have Steve Price. And seriously, Steve Price is where. That's what the kids are
He's
into.
on the project.
Yeah.
Mm.
He's like their resident right-wing guy. Or conservative or whatever you
Do you
call
remember
it.
the earnestness of Carrie Bickmore's face when she was picking him up on the Van Batten thing?
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
And then while he like, oh, did you look up the dictionary? Did you know
She
that
said that thing of
2,000
going-
years ago, this word meant that?
Yeah.
But he ignored the last 500 years where hysteria's had like a gender-neutral terminology.
Oh,
like
for
a
sure.
I've
mass
never-
hysteria and
But
histrionics.
I've never
and
heard a man be called
Freud.
hysterical.
yeah, Freud.
Really?
No, like
Lacan.
really. I've heard the phrase hysteria being referred to men, but as an insult, I've only ever
As
seen
an
it.
insult's different. I'm talking medically and
Yeah, but
etymology.
the term hysterical isn't a medical term in terms of like I've only ever seen it described.
I don't
women.
see it as a pejorative word. That's
It's
the
actually
thing.
it's a
Hysterical, it's an
DSM-5.
insult.
It's actually in the
So-
medical dictionary as histrionics. It's an actual thing.
Yeah, no.
Which came from hysteria.
But there's a difference between something being an actual thing and the way that it's used in normal language.
You're talking...
and the way it's used in normal language as an insult, as a pejorative.
Stop being hysterical!
I've
Yeah.
only ever seen
You're being hysterical.
women.
Really?
Yeah.
I'll say it to I'd say it to anyone. You know,
Hmm.
like... I've never seen it as pejorative. Was my thing. When that blew up, that wasn't
I sort of saw it as like, well,
Do you
that
know
was a
that
word
wasn't the
used
thing
to be
that I
used
would
in
have
a
gone
certain
Steve
phrase.
Price for? It was the way he at that time talked about the joke and Eddie and all these people who are all great people, and they're my friends. I'm so sick of that. One time I went into SEN with a song about Sam Newman, and I walked in and they said, because they're always really big on bloody editorial control, I just turn up and producer would go, "What's the song about today?" And I go, "I got a song about Sam Newman," and it was to the tune of "Time of Your Life," and it was the punchline was, "That's why Sam Newman can't find a wife," right? And it was just straight after this woman had gone to court and he got her hooked on coke and stuff. He's just not a very nice person. And I said, "Give me songs about Sam Newman," and the producer goes, "Oh, well, all the boys are good mates with Sam Newman, so I better show them the lyrics." And I went, "Oh, okay." And I stood outside the control room and watched Andy Marr, Bill Brownless, and I think it was Tim Watson was there, and they all read the lyrics, and a couple of them like shook their heads like this, but then they said, "Yeah, you can do it anyway." And I was like, who cares if someone's your friend? What's the deal with that? Just because Australia's a massive country town where everyone knows everyone. That's what I couldn't understand about Steve Price. "Oh, but I can't talk about that because these people are my friends." Well, your friends are pretty fucked, man.
Yeah, but that's
Like,
how
you
it works
can
in the industry. You got to have the right friends
You
in the
can
right
still just
spots
go,
to get
"Me
you the
friends
right
fucked," or
jobs.
just have some demarcation, some professional.
They're the ones who are getting you the job, though. Like, it doesn't matter your talent or, you know, and it's who you know.
Yeah, I know that.
It's all connections and nepotism and stuff. And if
Yeah.
you dick your friends over, they're not your friends anymore.
Oh.
You don't have a job.
When it
Like
com-
Wayne Carey, like he kicked a woman in the face. That's
Yeah.
cool because he's still friends with everyone. You know what I mean? But if he said something bad about his friends, boom, wouldn't be on telly anymore.
I reckon though it's been years, I still reckon if Wayne Carey rings anyone after about 2 a.m. and goes, "Oh, it's a bit crazy round at my house. Do you want to come round?" They go, Nah, see you tomorrow, mate. Don't worry about it. That's your call.
Mm.
Who is Wayne Carey outside of being the person who kicked the woman?
Oh, he's
He was famous for
massive-
cheating on his wife
Yeah.
with
Right.
his best mate's wife
Okay.
at a party.
Right.
He was also really good at football as well.
No, he's a great footballer.
Yeah,
Oh,
really
he's
good
a
football.
He's
footballer.
actually quite.
That's
he's,
the main thing
Okay.
about him that you
For
should
sure.
remember. That
He's-
he's good at football.
He's quite astute.
He was tall.
About the game.
Mm.
And I remember the Denton interview sort of uncovered the fact that he was a bloke who did all these awful things.
Mm.
But once you actually did a bit of digging, you realised that his upbringing, that
Makes it all okay.
didn't make it all okay. You understood that he hadn't had training in how to be a good person when it came to women. The bottom line is that at the heart of all these issues that we've got, where a lot of men treat women with disrespect, and let's face it, it's pretty much a national fucking sport in this country and to some degree around the world. But I reckon we've got pretty serious issues here. Australia's got issues with racism and sexism for the same reason, because we're a bit boneheaded. But a lot of it actually comes from a lack of, formal training, and that I think that we have to face up to the fact that that has to happen. I'm not saying this isn't about. I'm not trying to diminish the blame or the responsibility that anyone should take for their bad behaviour, and I'm sure that even as much as Wayne was a bit boneheaded, I did a gig one time, got out of my car, and as I got out of my car, Wayne Carey got out of his car next to me, and we were both walking into the same venue. I was playing out the back. He was meeting up with some mates for a drink. As I walked in, I said to him, it's the middle of the season, I said, seriously, man, I know you're injured, but I can't believe you're out drinking on a Friday night. And he goes, oh, Dennis said it was all right. And I went, okay. And then I played my gig, and when I was leaving, I walked out, and he was sitting in this pub, and there were women draped all over him, like draped all over him. And he looked like a dude who had no idea what was going on. He looked like the fame that he got for being a good football player was not something I think he was cerebrally gifted enough to actually be able to handle that sort of adulation. And I think the way that a lot of people behave around someone with that sort of celebrity who hasn't got any grounding, and his interview with Denton pretty much showed us that in his family upbringing, he didn't have good grounding, good male role models around him. He looked like a dude. I remember walking out thinking to myself, I'm so glad I'm not him. I'd love to be able to play footy well, but I'm so glad that I'm not.
And be rich and have girls draped all over you.
They get fleeced of a lot of their money because they're not real bright too. So that's actually a misnomer. I'm not saying that happened to him, but I'm just talking about looking at a human. I was like going, doesn't look like he's even having a great time. No one was talking to him because of who he was, other than just because of who he was. And he looked a little bit almost at sea in this situation. Like I was able to pick that up. And, and he came out the back and listened to me do my gig, and he was like, that was really good, man, And like the dude I met seemed like a relatively pleasant guy. But I don't know what your headphones... You touch shit and fucking noises happen.
Did you hear that as well? That
yeah, everybody heard it.
Through the headphones.
That was weird.
So bring some decent fucking gear.
No,
man.
this shit's all right. This is our first time using all this
But
gear.
every time
That's
you
good.
move, weird noises happen.
That's me.
Half that's got to do with the fact that I've got to clean up these
We'll
leads
do it
and
proper
stuff.
next time. We'll do it right. It'll be good.
I don't know. I reckon I'm done for now.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, we'll put that to tape and we can pick up and do other stuff.
I like it.
Yeah? Anybody else got anything else to say? Any amusing anecdotes they want to add? There is just so much ground to cover, but we'll get there.
NASA's just recently
I definitely want to do
about
it.
horoscopes, about Ophiuchus. There was actually 13.
You just go look at your fucking notes and come up with a talking point.
Yeah. I used to have this thing on my last podcast called Dave Astronomy, and every week I'd talk about something interesting to do with space or atoms or stuff.
Okay. Cool.
So I just
and how did the other people in your podcast enjoy that?
They loved it. They go, Dave, astronomy. And I did this whole thing, right? It went for like 10 minutes, and it was just like jokes around the fact that Uranus, the planet, is like a double entendre.
You didn't.
No, because
you didn't.
No, because
did you?
No,
is it? Hadn't noticed.
Did you know it's your Uranus is a gas giant, and there's like methane, and it rains diamonds on Uranus?
Yeah.
Did you know that? Did you know it rains diamonds on Uranus? It's very windy in Uranus.
Boom! You got me. Yeah, that's
10 minutes of that shit.
Enough,
I had a whole page full of that shit.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's good times. But I actually also talked about real stuff as well.
So with the horoscopes,
yeah,
does
3,000.
that mean we're not the horoscopes we think we are?
85% of people aren't the horoscopes, because this was set 3,000 years ago by the goddamn Babylonians who never updated their
hey,
shit.
Dude, would you lighten up?
I'm angry at the Babylonians, man.
Lighten up.
I'm angry.
But I've been looking at the newspaper thing for Scorpio.
Yep.
Finding out what I am.
And it's wrong, possibly.
Well,
you could be Ophiuchus.
I could be.
Yeah. You know,
Scorpio with Aries rising, if I recall. Yeah.
I don't believe in horoscopes.
Cancer on the cusp of Gemini.
Yeah, I'm a Gemini, but I don't believe in horoscopes.
Check out me tumour.
Because
I got a tumour in a affordable 4-door sedan that was sold in Australia in the 80s. Bang.
Boom.
Yeah.
I don't believe in horoscopes because that's a Gemini thing.
Yeah.
Boom.
four-door affordable sedan sold in the 80s. A Gemini. Holden Gemini. Jokes aren't funny when you have to explain them.
What about Libra?
I don't know if Geminis were a type of car, to be honest.
They were.
Well, that's long before you were born.
Okay. So sorry.
In this magical era called the 80s, there was no internet, but people still had double denim.
Somewhere between the
There's
a lot of good
Model T
music. It
Ford.
was really good.
Yeah.
Model T Ford and Berliner is the Gemini somewhere in there. It's not as old as an FJ Holden.
Yeah.
But it actually predated the Commodore, I think, the Gemini.
Really?
I think
Before
so.
was the VA or the VB Commodore? That was like the late 70s. Because I had a VC, which was about 1981, 1980. And my VC was awesome. You could break into my Commodore VC with just packing tape from the newsagents.
Yeah, proper. You could
just go
all
click,
of them.
click,
Yeah,
boom.
click, click, boom. Yeah.
And then you could stick a screwdriver into the keyhole with the ignition. You could just drive off.
Yeah.
You did not need the
That was
key that
great.
came with your car.
Right.
Do you know they say that the reason why carjackings are happening more and more is because you can't hotwire a car anymore. So you have to actually, the keys have to be in it, so you actually have to get somebody out.
You learn something new every day.
Get out of your car, I'm going to steal your car.
Good on them.
Yeah. So
I blame Grand Theft Auto being sold at Target. I think we should have it banned.
I think we should. Tell you what. One week we should definitely do what we were talking about out there is bring the Joe Jackson into it. Yeah.
Real man. Pass me a guitar.
Looking around at the.
Let's do it. Let's go out to the credits.
Do you know the?
I'll figure something out.
I can do.
Is it in tune?
Is she really going out with him? Is she
Can I have a shot?
Take him home. It's I'd have to look it up.
Have a shot?
Yeah, have a shot.
All right, here we go.
Go nuts.
Microphones.
No.
Like that?
Just the way you go. Pretty women walking with gorillas down my street. I comb my hair and my coffee goes cold. Look over there, where there goes a lady that I used to know. She's married now or engaged or something, so I'm told. Is she really going out with him? Is she really gonna take him home tonight? Is she really going out with him? 'Cause if my eyes don't deceive me, there's something going wrong around here. Around here.
That's all I know.
Tonight's the night that I go to all the parties down my street. I wash my hair and I kid myself, I look real smooth. Look over there, where there goes Jeannie with her new boyfriend. They say that looks don't count for much, so there goes your truth. Is she really going out with him? Is she really gonna take him home tonight? Is she really going out with him? 'Cause if my eyes don't deceive me, there's something going on around here. Around here. Something going wrong around here. Something going wrong around here.
There's that. It looks good, girl.
I think that's a wrap.
I need to know the bridge. Good night, everybody.
I can't believe I did not remember how that went. I only played it about a minute.